What's going on? It's your boy, Will Craven. Hit that share, like, subscribe button. Be gladly appreciated. We'll try to do this one again. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this one again. What do we have now? Like, what, the second, third try? But, yeah. Technical difficulties, it comes without saying. I have to turn them into learning experiences. As I said before, you everything is a learning experience. It may not be a favorable one, but it's always a learning experience. And considering that this video is about manhood, masculinity, and I always say masculinity, the core foundation of masculinity is teaching. Hat still on. Core foundation about masculinity is teaching. Had to take the instances that transpired. They're doing this one again. Teach so we don't have this actually happening, and it actually gave a real life example of what I was trying to relate in a situation that previously happened, and explaining to my son who runs cameras how this actually happened to someone on the job, and yeah, they got fired from the gig. So took that opportunity to thoroughly teach so that he learned, and not just so much be into the textbooks and training videos, but application is important. You can learn everything all you want in the training books, but if there's no application constantly, all that stuff you're learning is don't mean much because you don't know how to apply it. So that within itself kind of does translate to this video. I guess it's kind of going to make it different from the previous two that I was recording. But yeah, I wanted to touch bases on the Jonathan Majors situation in regards to males as well, and in past instance. Yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation, and as a male, you have to be really paying close attention. And as I said before, I like to keep these. I'm probably not going to say the same, but I like to keep these. I like to make sure my cell phone is on me because you never know in a situation, especially if you're dealing with a woman in today's time, that you may have to record that situation. We've seen the Johnny Depp situation. We've seen the Michael Irvin situation. There's been plenty of others that we've seen that it's just not favorable. And it's nothing to do with insecurity. It's nothing to do with hurt. It's pretty much protecting yourself. I did see Jonathan Majors, those allegations in the last recent hours that was stating somewhere that she was dropping the charges or dropping whatever. So the stuff wasn't pretty much finna stick, and it was proper protocol that any type of allegation like that you'd be arrested for it in New York. But it's not surprising, man. It's very not surprising with that situation. I made a post about it. Nothing about that situation is surprising. I mean, anytime as a male you start to rise up in this country, the United States, you need to be crossing all your I's and dotting your T's, which I did now. I want to mention that before I forget. As I mentioned before, and I've mentioned this throughout the last 5-6 years because it's really come to fruition. Geraldo, Ricky Lake, the Maury Povich Show, Jerry Springer were all very instrumental shows during my early teenage years, and into my 20s, and they help shape the mindset of how people actually move now. And people don't really understand, but now back to your scheduled programming is what they used to say on the TV when I was growing up. All these shows program you. All that stuff gets in your spirit. Yeah, now I remember some of the stuff I said already. So yeah, so as I said before, being a musician, I understand this. Being a guy who's done acting, I understand this. Being a guy who's been writing scripts and writing my own music, I understand this. That there's a feeling when you do acting that you're invoking upon those who are watching, that they feel you draw them in. So when you draw them in, they relate to it. This is why certain things that are written are relatable. They feel one with it. When people hear certain music, it just draws to them. I felt that. This is why they say this about certain artists. And there's stuff that I've written that hasn't hit the mainstream or whatever, and I let people hear certain things. And the first thing I'm looking for is how their mood was. There's a couple tracks that I know I wrote that was mainly orchestral, and sent it to them at night. Asked them how did they sleep. Said it's the best sleep they ever got. That was the whole purpose of me writing those tracks. That was the whole purpose. Like, all right, I want to set your mood and I want to be able to control it. So this is why I also say that manipulation is so easy if you really want to manipulate people, especially if you know how to. And with those, that's exactly what those shows did, because most people do not understand how much and how often they are operating in their subconscious mind. So what we've seen with those shows, as it relates to manhood, male, and masculinity, what we saw from them shows is that the Jerry Springer shows, a lot of times it was fighting a woman fighting over a guy, and the guy was always the bad guy. And if the two females were fighting, people were cheering them on to do something foolish, and then they came down on the guy for what it was that he was doing. When it came to when it came to the Ricky Lake show, the guy was always the issue, and these women were having emotional breakdowns. The Geraldo show started taking on some of the same attributes of as the Maury Povich show, in which we see on social media. There are actual means. We're saying the lie detector test says that's a lie. So we know what that show brought about. It brought about men coming on there, taking DNA tests, and she have all these guys trying to figure out who the child's father is. In some instances where a lot of times it happened that none of them were the father, she runs off the stage. She's back there crying. And what do they go back there to do? They run back there, console her. The guy, the whole time, from the beginning to the end, he's been ostracized. He's booed when he come on there. Already, there's negative. And then when he finds out the child isn't his, he's encouraged or made to feel less than a man to not, if he decides he doesn't want to take care of it. So what do they later start doing? Is they start coercing these guys to say to actually stay in a child's life that's not even their child. That makes absolutely zero sense. I want to take care of something that doesn't belong to me. Now we see this all the time. What kind of man are you if you're not going to take care of the child? This stuff programmed. It's programmed. Males are looked down upon for not taking care of another man's responsibility, whereas she's not even made to feel responsible for decisions she made. So you mean to tell me you decide you can do whatever it is you want to do, say whatever it is you want to say, and there's no consequence or repercussion, which leads me back to the whole Jonathan Majors. If this lady goes out here and told a lie, which if we find out this wasn't the case, just as well as the Michael Irvin and a few others, the Johnny Depp, there's no consequence or repercussion behind it. It's showing you women can do whatever the heck it is that they want to do and get away with it, which is why I preach and teach all the time. Make sure you're protecting yourself as a man. Make sure you're paying attention. You have to be paying attention. And you have to be thinking 50-something odd moves ahead. If you're not, you're going to get yourself caught up in the trick bag. And then you're going to have to spend time, wasting time, trying to repair your image, trying to repair your name. because somebody lied on you. And at this point in my life, if you tell a lie, I'm not finna try to repair anything. I'm just keep it moving. It's keeping that keep the evidence, but I'm not gonna waste time in this day and age to try to repair my name, because people in this country, they've already proven that once they say something bad about you, whether you're guilty or not, it's stuck to you. There's no point in trying to clean it up. People gonna think what they're gonna think. And I see on social media all the time, a guy makes a certain amount of money, they talk bad about it. All this stuff has been trained, and people have been trained to respond this way. And they don't even realize that they're trained to respond this way. It is very unfortunate. Jonathan Majors has been rising to the top very swiftly. And all of a sudden, here comes this one instance, possibly tear him out. So what does that do? Now he has to start moving a certain way. And this is why this is an area that I really want to talk about even before this transpired, is there is an agenda towards males in regards to their masculinity. We hear this crap about hyper masculinity. We hear this crap about toxic masculinity. And then we see all these type of things that in regard to if males tell the truth, there's an issue, or we don't like women and all this other garbage mess. No, the fact of the matter is to attack what I've always said that true masculinity is. It's to attack teaching. It's to keep a man from teaching. If he doesn't teach, he can't lead. The greatest way of showing and exemplifying your protection is to teach. If I teach you how to use a gun, you can protect yourself. If I teach you how to defend yourself, you can protect yourself. If I teach you how to drive a car defensively, offensively, all the ins and outs, and do everything to make sure you know how to drive properly, you then can protect yourself in certain situations when you're driving a car. This is with everything. But if males have to think twice about what they say and what they do, it then starts to make them more reserved. Well, I ain't gonna do that. Okay, well, cool. On the other opposite spectrum, that is the cool for those who thinking are like, all right, now we're getting them to do less and less. Because the whole thing with feminism, the agenda, is not to gain equality, it's to actually gain power. Anything that tells you that they want equality don't want equality. They want power. They want dominion over you. That's a whole nother term that doesn't more or less get used. But the harsh reality is they want to dominate you. This is why when we hear certain things about when women say, "Oh, okay, equality," then they pick and choose what they want because they want to dominate certain things. And if we can overpower you here, eventually you will fold. All these things are happening because once you take on the spirit of another individual or the individual who's leading, you then start to operate in that manner. That's what I just said about the whole thing with the music, the whole thing with the acting. It's all happening to where you take on the spirit of the individual who is putting that into you. So you start acting a certain way. So if they start to getting the one up on you, then as far as the women and males who are in agreement with them, what's going to happen is males is just not going to do what it is that they're supposed to do. And that's what they want. That's how you gain power. You don't gain power. The best way to gain power is not to overpower you swiftly. Because if you get overpowered swiftly, you get embarrassed, there's a good chance that you may revolt. The best way to gain power over someone is to gradually do it. Because you're just slowly taking their will. You're slowly taking the things that they actually do. Normally, they start thinking twice. And when they start thinking twice, it's like, oh, I won't do that. Then you slowly start creeping. I mean, I've seen this mess. I understand this mess way back from watching adults and marriages from a child. The more I see males give they wife or whatever The more things they did for her, the less appreciative she became, and the more dominant she became over him, and the less more leadership that he started to display. And when things started to go awry, he wondered what's going on, because you kept giving such and such and such. You kept giving them leeway. Well, you kept giving her leeway. And the more leeway she got, the more she decided to run over you. Why? Because other individuals around here saying she can do better or she can get such and such and such. So then what eventually happens? People eventually in that position starts to either get arrogant or prideful. And once they start getting that, then they start to do dominance over you. And this is what we see because they know they can get away with it. And we see this a lot happening with men out here. This happens. Oh, okay. Why should we do anything? Why should we say we're sorry? You're a man, get over it. Right back to the whole Maury Povich. Oh, you supposed to take care of the child. Do what you're supposed to do. Oh, that ain't my child. We don't care that ain't your child. You do what you're supposed to do. Oh, okay, well, you can go back out here and make more money. Oh, you can go back out here. You'll recover. And those, see, things like that. Oh, you'll recover. None of that stuff happens to women. That's why I say women and men aren't equal. Because she don't get that same type of treatment. But you automatically as a man is like, oh, okay, you'll bounce back. And then a lot of you guys is running around here saying, oh, well, men suffer in silence. Yeah, you suffer in silence because you're not being truthful. You handle that situation. Tell the truth. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you what the deal is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Why? Because at the end of the day, when I sit down and give account to myself, I give account to myself that, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't back down. Because the minute you start backing down, you showing signs of fear. And as a man, anytime as a man you show signs of any type of fear or second guessing, you are unstable. And you put yourself in a position to be ran over. And this is why you suffer. But see, this kind of stuff that they don't want you to know this kind of stuff because the whole feminist movement is to extract your power from you and they take it. And then they have power. This is why we see so much do what they want to do. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jonathan Majors going forward in the future because he right now he has power. He's a heartthrob. Well, he was a heartthrob, but the easiest way to not make him a heartthrob is to say something that he sexually attacked somebody. That's the easiest way to tear a man down is to say he has sexually attacked a woman. Easy. We saw it happen with Chris Brown. And so, oh, he did that. Well, the details in the details of that, regardless of the fact, he went from in a matter of seconds. And they still held to that. To this day. As my man say, to this day. But that's the easiest way to get you. So as a man, you have to be thinking about this. How do I not find myself in this situation? How do I protect myself? You are the bag, as I said before in the previous one I recorded. You're the bag. You're the prize. So you have to know if you're the bag and the prize, you have to protect yourself. There's nothing about being insecure about that. There's nothing about that being, oh, I'm hurt. No. When you protect yourself as the bag, you have the ability to distribute where you want to distribute yourself. This is why we have stuff like insurance. You make sure that you as the investment, who is also the investor, are protected to be able to put your resources where you want to put yourself. But if you don't protect your own self, you can't distribute yourself in a proper manner for everyone around you to benefit. This is what goes back to the whole happiness thing I was talking about in the previous video. You finding fulfillment, you have to be able to see this stuff. See it coming. Like, all right, okay, cool. This is why I say I don't chase. I ain't finna chase no woman. For what? Because then, when you start chasing a woman, you put yourself in a position that you went after her. Oh, man, you gonna see me, you gonna see her coming to me. Whatever film or whatever gets caught on, I'm not going to you. I don't know, what do I need to go to you for? I'm the bag. I'm the prize. That's something I have you want. And then, like, men need to fully understand this, man. There's something you have that she wants, even if it's down there. Because a lot of these women now are promiscuous. They don't care nothing about body count. They'll tell you. They don't care about, why are you worried about body count for? I can do what you do. Do what you want to do. If you know that, there's no need for you to chase. If she's feeling you like that, why in the world would you put yourself in a position to be chasing her? There's no point. Absolutely 0 point for you to chase a woman, period. Because she want you. If she's feeling you, she want you, she's going to show it. Even if she don't even really show you that she finna chase out there, she gonna throw some little vibe out there, hint out there, for you to see that she feeling you. I ain't chasing you. You gonna do this work. Like, you gonna do this work like Ruth did this work. Ruth went to Boaz, made it known. Like, yeah, like, man, y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all gotta stop chasing these women. Y'all gotta pay attention. Y'all gotta be prepared, man. It's nothing about fear. It is protecting the investment. I'm the investment. And because I am the investment and I am the prize, those who are connected to me eat off of me. If I go around here and be foolish and let this woman do whatever it is so she can eat, she's now taking resources out of that one's mouth of mine. And in his possible children in the future. No. Pay attention. Man, man, you gotta pay attention, man. I know, yeah. I know I say that so much, but it's driven home in my son's head. He automatically know when I say always, and he finishes the mess up with paying attention, because it is that important, man. It is really that important. It is that imperative. You're not doing it, man. You gonna get yourself in a issue and a problem. You gotta see this mess coming. I mean, literally see it coming. It's to the point to where it's like you almost psychic with it. Like, how do you know that? Yeah, I saw that coming already. How the world you can see that? Like, man, look here. I seen enough, put myself in a position enough to be paying attention enough to like, oh yeah, I heard that before. And yes, memory. Your memory is key, which is why people be like, man, how come you don't do drugs? Like, nope. That mess with your mind. I don't know what the world I'm going to want to mess with my mind for when I want to make sure I can remember something that transpired already. That's important. It's extremely important. Because if somebody, I seen so many times where a woman got over on a dude because he didn't remember she did so and so. Man, I'm paying attention to that. You ain't, because that's also when you understand that they will manipulate. Men do it too. But when in this what I'm talking about here, they will manipulate, especially if she's not for your interest and she trying to get something from you, or turn around and cash out on you. She gonna manipulate. And if she manipulating and you ain't paying attention, you're got. It's that simple. You're got. And the object is not to get got. So what is your insurance? Paying attention. Remembering. Being locked in. That's what like, man, ain't got nothing to do with no. Dismiss the notion of females. So all you heard, dismiss that notion. That's a whole nother manipulation tactic too. To let your guard down. And the minute you let your guard down, she coming in. Pierce you. Because the agenda has programmed and taught them that. By any means, so many women, it's by any means necessary. And when you start really understanding that a lot of them don't like the truth, that are on that have a bad agenda and is part of that type of it, the agenda with the feminine whole thing, you understand that truth they will not get close to you when you tell the truth, which is why I love the truth so much. And I will tell it very harshly and with no remorse, because it's automatically telling me that there's something wrong with you. This is why I have no problem with telling the truth. Like, why are you so harsh? Or why you can't be a little more sensitive? It's the truth. What the heck you think? Truth is like peroxide. You put it on the wound, it's going to burn. But what is it going to do? It's going to cleanse. That's what the truth does. The truth cleanses you. Sometimes it's like alcohol. It's going to burn. It's going to fizz. And anybody who don't want to hear that, I think of it like that all the time. They don't want to get the dirt out. Which is what y'all like to say, the whole toxic thing. Bacteria and all that. It's something there. It's wrong. They don't want to hear the truth. The truth is my ally. And I use it as such. Which is why I have no problem with saying it. And I'm not going to apologize for it either. And it's so alarming and amazing that how many individuals don't understand the minute you start apologizing. Once again, that whole manipulation, the whole tactic, that's another form of manipulation to get you to apologize for you telling the truth of something you said that you meant so they can lower you. That's all it's doing, is lowering you. It's lowering you. Now, it's one thing to apologize, to say, okay, yeah, I did do such and such, but for what I said, maybe how I said it, and if I was saying it in anger and how I was responding, yeah, that's one thing. I could have controlled that more. But what I said was the truth. I'm not apologizing for telling you the truth. But with that said, yeah, man, it's very unfortunate, but to be expected is in regards to Jonathan Majors and any other type of male individual who's reached a certain status, more or less, well, whether it's 6 figures, 5 figures, you can be capitalized on. And even if it's just for kicks and giggles, you're not financially there. Even if it's just for kicks and giggles, you can be capitalized on, because in this day and age we live in this social media driven world, attention is currency, and people get their kicks off of doing something to someone else, whether it's good or not. And as a man, you have to be paying attention to this kind of stuff. It's imperative that you're paying attention to it. It's imperative that you can see it coming. Because the harsh reality is they want to dumb down manhood. Since I've been a father for the last 10 years, the amount of women being told Happy Father's Day in June is ridiculous. Oh, men, well, we can do anything they do. Man, like I said, and I'm gonna do this video next about equality, male and woman equality. But the harsh reality is, anything that they want, they try to say that's equal to you, they put it above you. I mean, just look at it. Really think about how many times you done seen on social media. But when Father's Day roll around, and it's gonna roll around real soon, when we're in March. March is getting close to being over with. We finna roll into April, the end of this week. You got April, May, June. So it's basically 2.5 months. 3/4. You're going to see these women going up here telling other women, Happy Father's Day. Oh, we do it. We did it better. We single. We doing single father and single mother, bro. They've made it to so to where it's comical for the fact that you hear so much, all women love better than or more than men do. That's a bold-faced, flat-out lie. And I can care less how mad you get, and you can say whatever the heck it is you want to say in the comments. I don't leave that boy attended to nowhere. And if he actually told it, he'll tell you who he gonna prefer. Because the fact of the matter is, as a man, you technically are built to outdo her, and when it comes to that department, because we put up with so much more crap that we have to deal with. Especially now, a woman can turn around and leave your tail because she ain't happy. You gotta love her through and through. Remember, once again, back to the whole Maury Povich, how you was programmed. That ain't your kid, but you gotta love the kid regardless. So you find out that another man was smashing her tail, and then you supposed to love her child, and then take care of him. Oh, how much more love does that take to love somebody else's kid, who then you find out that she was messing with somebody else, and you supposed to give your resources to somebody else to make sure that they have their betterment, and then you sit there and you just take the garbage. That sounds like a whole lot greater love to me. Whereas she can just walk up and leave and hear her friends say, girl, you can upgrade. Apply pressure, period. And all this other foolishness that we hear is a bunch of nonsense. But we hear, yeah, that they outlove us. Man, listen, man. I don't care what you say. As a man, you are the foundation to your family. You are the whole pinnacle of it. No, listen to that mess talking about they tell you that they the backbone. Nah, bruh. Because the minute the family gets put on their back and their shoulders, they're ready to buckle. They want somebody else to take it over. I mean, you see this mess now. Well, it's stepdaddy season. Where the stepdaddies at? They ain't trying to handle that. They wasn't built to be made to take that load like that and not complain about it. Because if they take that load, they gonna be somewhere complaining. That's a complaint is a whole emotional outburst. But as men, we're required, going back to it, suffer in silence. You're supposed to be able to take the load in silence. Come on, man. There's so much I can say, man. And if you really start thinking about it, and I can sit here and do it, and even if you ask somebody else, I can pull up instances for eternity. Like, yeah, okay, you saying that, but let's talk about such and such and such. That happened. No. See, and then instances with that, it's a lot of times when people are like, oh, wait, that blah blah blah. Like, no, that happened. No, you can't just single out that happened. That actually happened to somebody. So it's the truth. But yeah, man. Before I keep going on in a whole nother area, pay attention, man. Y'all gotta pay attention. Protect yourself. You are the investment. And if you get your investment damaged yourself or stolen from, you're not going to be able to do the things that you need to do. And that's what they want to do to you. They want to minimize you. They want to lower your value. We're constantly seeing the value of men trying to be lowered, and men are trying to be silenced. The fact of the matter is you don't allow nobody to silence you. Do what it is you're supposed to do. Learn what it is you're supposed to learn. Because those ones that's coming behind you need that. They need it. And it's necessary for their growth. And you don't want them getting to a certain age and say, man, I didn't learn that. No, it's your responsibility to do that. As a man, it's your responsibility to teach and lead. And in order to do that, you need to learn as much as possible. Put yourself in a position. With that being said, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Even if you're gonna do it begrudgingly, I don't care. I appreciate it. If your feelings was hurt, unfortunate, truth is. But I still appreciate you. I still love you. I still care about you. I want you to do better. I want you to grow, regardless of how you feel, because there are individuals tied to you that you will affect. And you need to affect them in the right manner. You need to affect them in the positive manner for them to grow. And sometimes certain things that are said hurt. It's just that simple. Growth usually has pain tied to it. There's something there that we need to learn. But with that being said, it's your boy, Will My Craven. Be easy.